Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath Lloyd from Make the Change, and it's Wednesday evening and it's Let's Talk. And this evening I'm going to take you on a little virtual journey into your future of 2019. So I hope that you've done your work on what you want for 2019, because that is really important to be able to do this next exercise, because if you haven't got a clue, it might be a little bit difficult, but you could give it a go and see exactly what is happening. Now, when we talk about our future, it doesn't necessarily have to be about tangible things or success at work. It can be about absolutely anything at all. It might be about how you're feeling, your emotions, your mental state. It might be perhaps, you know, something to do with relationships and having more patience with people, or giving people more space, or searching for something that you haven't sort of got to grips with yet in your life. You know, so 2019 is, you know, and we're in January, so it's a great time to just explore what it is that is going to give you your calmness, your peacefulness, your energy, what will fulfill your needs and make you feel as if it is going to be a great year for you. Okay, so if you haven't had a sort of a little look at that list and refreshed it, then it's a really important point to refresh your memory about it before we start on this little exercise, because I'm going to be taking you through the year, and we're going to be, or you're going to be looking at different periods of time through that year, so that you can get really in contact with, you know, where you are, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, who you're with, perhaps what you're saying, what you're feeling physically and emotionally, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, so that you're getting a real sense of where you are at the different time periods through the year, because then that will make it a lot clearer for what you want. Okay, so what I want you to do is find a length of space. All right, now usually, you know, the hall is a good place to start, or a corridor, even the garden, but I suggest you put on some warm clothes if you're going to go in the garden. But basically it's somewhere where you are, you can relax, you can concentrate, where you're not going to be disturbed, and so you can really focus on what you're doing. So you may have to explore different areas to be able to do this. And then I want you to sort of just take a look at that space and just make a mental note of where your year ends on that space that you've got, and then come backwards, so back to yourself, so where your 9 months is, 6 months, 3 months, etc., because I'm going to take you through different stages of that year, so that, and you're going to walk it and drop down into that that space, so that you can start to get a feel for what it is that you're doing. Okay, so this exercise is about getting up out of your seat, getting onto your feet and doing some moving around. Okay, so stand up first of all, and if you aren't feeling energized, if you're feeling really sluggish and then you know, do some little bit of shaking around, loosen yourself up, perhaps do some stretching, standing on your tiptoes, touching your toes, those sorts of things, to get, you know, your blood flowing and to get you feeling a little bit more energized. However, I don't want you to be hyper because you might find it difficult to relax the mind. So even though I want you to feel energized, I also want you to feel calm at the same time. So when you're ready, go and stand at the point where you are today in your length of space. Okay, so this is today's date. And, you know, just briefly, to get that calmness and to get that focus, I'd like you to shut your eyes, okay, and to take 3 lovely deep breaths in and out. So in and count to 3, hold for 3, and then out for 3. And as you breathe out, allow your body to relax. Okay, and again, breathing in, holding, breathing out, and relax. And one last time, breathing in, hold, breathing out, and relax. Okay, so hopefully now you're in a great state to be able to walk your future of the next 12 months. Okay, so I need you to open your eyes because I don't want you walking into any walls or bashing your head on the side of the door or tripping over the dog or whatever. Okay, so I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to imagine yourself floating up above yourself so that you can see yourself. Okay, so when you can see yourself, I want you to walk to where your next month is. So we're doing 4 weeks, 1 month. Okay, I want you to walk to that place. Okay, now you're still looking down on yourself, and I want you to just look down on yourself and to see what's going on. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? What can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel physically? What are you feeling mentally? What are you talking about? What can you smell and what can you taste? So quite a lot of things for you to take in. And then I want you to drop yourself down. Imagine you're dropping yourself down at that month stage as if you are there for the very first time, as if, you know, it is you actually there in that month. And I want you just to turn around, and I want you to visualise what has happened in the last month. What's been going on for you? How have you got to this month? What have you overcome? What have you challenged yourself on? What fun things have happened? How have you been feeling? How have you been thinking? Who have you been with? Okay. So now we're going to move on. Okay. And I want you to imagine yourself floating up above yourself again, and floating to your 3-month mark. Okay, so that's another 2 months. And look down on yourself. Where are you? Who are you with? What's happening? What are you talking about? What's the buzz? What's going on? What's the weather like? What are you wearing? What are other people wearing? Who's with you? What are you feeling physically? What are you feeling emotionally? What can you taste? What can you smell? And then I want you to drop yourself down at that 3-month mark. And take a look around you. What's happened in the last 3 months? What have you overcome? What challenges have you had? What's worked well for you? And how's that made you feel? Yeah. How have you changed? Because you will have changed over those 3 months, over the next 3 months. And really relish in, your little celebrations along the way. What actions have you taken and how have you achieved? Or perhaps what do you need to change so that you can achieve better in the next 9 months? And then when you're ready, take a deep breath, float up above yourself and float for another 3 months so that you are looking at your 6-month mark. So this is halfway through the year. So this is about the middle of July we're talking about now. Middle of June, sorry. And I want you to look down on yourself. Where are you? Who are you with? What's happening? What are you talking about? What are other people talking about? How are you feeling physically? What can you feel physically? How are you feeling and what are you feeling emotionally and mentally? What can you smell? What can you taste? And then I want you to drop down at that 6-month mark. Make sure your feet are firmly on the ground. And then I want you to turn round and look at all the things that have happened over the last 6 months. What have you achieved? What have you overcome? What actions can you tick off your list? What are people saying about you? What are you saying? How do you look? How do you feel? What are you feeling physically? What can you smell? What can you taste? And then I want you to turn around and look at where you're going to be going for the next 6 months. Okay. What have you still got to achieve that you want to achieve in the next 6 months? Okay. And then take a deep breath. And I want you to float up above yourself and float to 9 months. So another 3 months. Okay. And look down on yourself. What can you see? What can you hear? What's happening? Who's there? What's everybody talking about? What are you talking about? How do you sound to yourself? What are you feeling physically? What are you feeling emotionally? What can you smell? What can you taste? And then I want you to drop yourself down as if you're there in real life at the 9-month mark. And I want you to turn around and have a little look at the past 9 months. What's happened? How have you grown in those last 9 months? What changes have happened? How does that make you feel? What are you saying to yourself? What's your self-talk saying? Hopefully you've got lots of celebrations to be proud of. Even more things to tick off on your list. And then, when you've taken all that in, I want you to take a deep breath and float yourself up above yourself and transport yourself down to exactly 12 months today. So that'll be the 9th of January 2020. and look down at yourself exactly this time next year and look at what's happened. Look at what's going on. Look at the achievements. Look at the great things that have happened. How are you feeling? What are you thinking about? How are you standing? Because how you're standing has a great influence on what's been going on in your life. And then I want you to drop yourself down at the 12 months mark and turn around and have a look at all of the things that have been going on for you in the last 12 months. All the things you've overcome, all the challenges that you have set yourself and you have achieved. What have you got to be proud about yourself from the last 12 months? How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel physically and emotionally? Who has been on that journey with you? Very, very important. What can you smell? What can you taste? And then when you're ready, when you've taken all of that in, use your eyes, use your ears, use your sense of taste and your sense of smell to drink in everything that has gone so well for you in that last 12 months. And breathe it in. Imagine it is consuming the whole of your body. And then, when you're ready, take a deep breath, float up to 9 months, float up above yourself, and slowly float back over to your 9 months. Look down on yourself, see where you are, drop yourself down, remind yourself of all the things that you've achieved over those 9 months. Float back up, float along to 6 months. Have a look around you. Look at what you've achieved in the 6 months and where you want to be going in the 12 months. And drop yourself down as if you are there again, remembering all of those great things that have been going on for you. And when you're ready, take a deep breath, float yourself up above yourself and along to 3 months. Remembering, looking back on all of the things that you've achieved up until those 3 months. Drop yourself down. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are people talking about? What is your self-talk talking about? What can you celebrate? And when you're ready, take a deep breath, float up above yourself and float to your 1 month mark. And have a look. Have a look at what you achieved in 1 month. And drop yourself down. As if you're there for the first time. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Who are you with? What are your surroundings? What are they saying? What are you saying? What are you saying to yourself? What can you feel physically? What can you feel emotionally? What can you smell? What can you taste? And then when you're ready, take a deep breath, float up above yourself and float along back to today and now. And before you drop yourself down, just take a look into the distance at your journey that you're going to take for the next 12 months. Look at those marker points that are going to be important to you. Where are those holidays that you want to take coming? Where are you going to, finish a qualification? Or perhaps you've got a wedding, perhaps you're getting married, perhaps you're going to buy a house, or perhaps you're going to buy a car. Perhaps you're going to start a business, or get a promotion, or start writing your book, finish writing your book, running a marathon, going to the gym first time, achieving that weight that you want to achieve, or that fitness level that you were wanting to achieve. Or finding that little bit of extra contentment, that extra bit of happiness that you are wanting, or that calmness that you're trying to create for yourself. And when you're ready, drop back down. Now, hopefully that was a very positive experience for you. And now what I'd like you to do is to write down at those various points that you dropped yourself down into, the different things that you saw, you felt, you heard, you smelt, you tasted. Because this is a really, really important process, because we haven't experienced it yet, it makes it more real if we can imagine it. And it isn't just about imagining it, it's about recording it as well and putting it down in black and white, because that will help reinforce those things that you have just imagined as you've gone along that journey, to really sort of reinforce it into your mindset as, yes, I'm going to achieve that. Yes, I'm going to feel that great. Yes, I'm going to have those people with me, and I'm going to feel fantastic about it. And other people are going to enjoy the benefits of those things as well. Okay. So, I hope that will be a really positive experience for you. If it's something that you want me to go through with you personally, then that is no problem at all, because we can, make it happen for you, because you are as important as the next person, and only you can change things and make choices about how you want your next year to be. So, have a go at the exercise, and then please write it down, because it will help you to reinforce all those thoughts and those feelings, as you were going through along your journey. And if you are sort of struggling with getting the calmness that you want, then, subscribe to my top 10 tips to keeping yourself sane. I'll put the link in underneath the video, and to help you get that calmness so you can travel that journey a little bit more easily. But I'm going to love you and leave you now. Good luck with your walking your 2019, and I will speak to you next week here live on Facebook next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Have a great evening. Bye bye.